Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. I want to make a video today and talk about a 5-gun battery. Okay. Now, of course, I haven't created this topic. This is a topic that I have read about in gun-related magazines since I was a teenager. It was probably talked about before I was born. I don't know. But for this video, I'm going to be talking about a 5-gun battery for some sort of a SHTF, WROL, long-term type of scenario. Okay. Now I'm going to have examples of the 5 different categories of guns that I'm going to show you, but I want to make sure that you understand that these are just a few examples and not a definitive list by any means. Or I'm not saying you had to have this type or this brand rifle, not even saying any caliber. Something for you to think about. The firearm is going to be a very useful tool in any type of a scenario like a SHTF, WROL, whatever. And firearms can serve many different roles. Some of you folks may believe that you can use whatever gun that you may have in a combination of different roles, and that's fine. So don't get caught up on the exact guns that I'm showing you, but more or less the concept. Okay. Now the first category I want to show you is shotguns. Okay. I think the shotgun is an extremely versatile tool. I'm very much a fan of the shotgun. When you start to think about different SHTF or WROL situations, many problems can be solved with a good shotgun. This happens to be a Remington 870. Now I have some different things on there, like a Magpul stock and an ammunition carrier and things of that nature, and all that is not really as necessary as having a good quality shotgun. This one is a Remington 870 Police Magnum. Okay. I will say that one of the things that I like about this particular shotgun is the barrel. It's a barrel that I bought. It's from Remington. It's 18.5 inches and accepts choke tubes. Okay, and that, I believe, makes it a much more versatile tool. Semi-automatics have gotten a lot better in my lifetime and are now considered, when people talk about defensive or even offensive uses of a shotgun. And one of those groundbreaking shotguns, semi-automatics, that is responsible for that is the Benelli M1 Super 90. Okay. Now again, this has a different barrel on there. It's a 20-inch barrel, vent rib, but also accepts the choke tubes, which I believe adds to that versatility of the shotgun. I may show guns that have a lot of different add-on accessories or whatever, but really the most important accessory in this for a shotgun is a sling. Alright, so remember that. It's worth it. Slings are worth their weight in gold. Now I'm going to show you some old technology, a departure from the newer type of shotguns, and that is a good old double barrel. And I'm showing this basically because you may already have a good double barrel, and it may fit your needs and it may not, only you can decide that. This particular one is made by American Arms, and which I don't believe is in business anymore. But at any rate, it has, the reason that I like this shotgun is it has a Parkerized finish. It has 26-inch barrels. It also, unlike many double barrel shotguns, and I'll show you all that that's unloaded, is it does accept choke tubes as well. Okay. Another feature of this shotgun that I particularly like is the fact that it is chambered to shoot 2 3/4, 3-inch, and 3.5-inch shotgun shells, and of course this is 12 gauge, as all 3 of the shotguns were. Alright, the next category I'm going to talk to you about, maybe some of the older line of thought wouldn't even included this category, and that is handguns. I think handguns are something that should be considered in any sort of disaster or WROL or whatever type of planning, because there may be situations where you feel like you need to be armed and it's important for you to be armed, but it may not be prudent for you to walk down the street with a rifle or shotgun. Okay. The handgun's 2 greatest characteristics are not effectiveness or range, but of portability and concealability. Okay. I could do a video just talking about handguns, but what I wanted to basically say is You know, for these types of situations, some sort of a SHTF, I would consider some of the more popular offerings, some of them that have the most history and therefore the most probability of coming across ammunition and other sources, things of that nature. Top 3 calibers I think would be 45 ACP, 100 years here in the United States. 357, because of the longevity of that cartridge and because of the longer longevity of the 38 Special. And both of those cartridges can be fired in a 357 Magnum revolver. And then of course 9mm. 9mm's great popularity is new here in the United States. Very popular in other parts of the world, but in the United States I would have to say it started in the 1980s, that huge popularity that it enjoys today. Okay, with great designs such as SIG and Beretta and Glock and so many others, the popularity of the 9mm has really risen to the top. Okay, and with good modern self-defense ammo, there's nothing wrong with that choice. Okay, so here's a good revolver in 357 Magnum. This happens to be a Smith & Wesson Model 627. It's an 8-shot 357 Magnum. Here is a Beretta 92 FS. This is a civilian version of the firearm that our military adopted back in the 1980s. And here, of course, is a 1911, which happens to be one of my favorite platform firearms. Now, if you're going to choose a 1911, you got to understand that not all 1911s are the same. And there's very few affordable 1911s that I would choose for such a role. Do your homework. Find out what are good models. If you're going to choose a 1911, make sure you choose one that won't fail you when you need it. Next category I'm going to talk about is rifles. Okay. As a matter of fact, next couple of categories I'm going to talk about are rifles. This first category is a rifle that can provide a lot of firepower for you. Okay. And in the United States, in these days and times, that could look like some type of AR. Now, this happens to be a Saber Defense AR-15. It is a competition deluxe. It has an 18-inch barrel that's been fluted, and it's an accurate rifle. And I've done a few things to this rifle to enhance the accuracy. Free-floated fore-end, so forth. But one important thing I want to talk about right now, and I'm going to talk about this and several other rifles, is the fact that I don't have anything on it. That's not because I don't want to put something on that. You usually see this rifle with a scope attached to it. Okay, but scopes could easily break. A red dot sight could easily break. So iron sights are important. If you want to add something on later, that's fine. But make sure that you have a rifle with iron sights. Here's another very popular rifle here in the United States. It's a AKM AK-47 type of rifle. This one happens to be from Krebs Customs, and they make outstanding AKs. Okay, very popular intermediate cartridge, the 7.62 by 39, 30 round magazines. There's drums. There's all kinds of different types of ways to feed this rifle. And again, no optics, even though I can and often do have an optic on this rifle. Now, like the double barrel shotgun, I want to give you an example of a rifle that you may already have. And that is a good lever action rifle like this Winchester Model 94. This is an older model, Model 94, and I have to tell you that a lever action rifle in 30-30 is probably the most popular rifle in the United States. Okay, the designs, this Model 94, over 100 years old. The Marlin 336, again, old as crap. There's a gazillion of these things in the United States, and 30-30 Winchester. 30-30 Winchester has very similar ballistics of the 7.62 by 39, which makes it an intermediate type of rifle. And if you practice with it, a rifle that you can put rounds down range in quick succession. So this may be, again, a rifle that you have access to. All right, the next rifle I want to talk about is something for extended range, for more precise shooting. Okay. A lot of people are going to talk about sniper rifles and things of that nature, and I am not. But I'm going to be talking about a rifle that can put rounds at distance beyond what these intermediate guns can do, and do so with effectiveness. Here is a Remington Model 721. This is one of my favorite rifles, by the way. But this rifle has had some work done to it. It's a very accurate rifle. You notice that I took the scope off, okay? And the reason that I did so is the reason that this gun I would feel would be good for those emergency survival situations is the fact that it does have iron sights on the rifle. Okay, that's what you don't get in some of those bull barrel guns, right? They never come with iron sights. But your basic hunting rifle, this again may be something that you may already have or have access to. And the chambering, 30-06. It's been with us for over 100 years. And there's lots of 30-06 rifles out there. There's lots of 30-06 types of ammunition out there. 30-06 can take care of any of your shooting needs here in the United States. Here is another hunting type rifle. This is a modern Mauser. Okay, this is a Whitworth Mauser, and it's in 300 Winchester Magnum. Okay, and that is the rifle round that I have a lot of experience with. When I used to compete at long distance, 300 Winchester Magnum was one of the most popular rounds used at those 1,000-yard matches and things of that nature. This was before we saw the 338 Lapua come around and some of the other offerings that we have nowadays. 300 Winchester Magnum can be that long distance gun. That 30-06, I said I had some things done to it. That was a Douglas barrel, by the way, on that rifle. On this barrel, this is a Schilling barrel, and I think I'm saying that right, S-H-I-L-E-N. Schilling barrel, and it's been free floated. Good rifle. Once again, it has iron sights on it. Okay. The last rifle I want to show you is a modern day sporting rifle. Okay, that is an outstanding rifle. This is a Seiko. This is in 308 Winchester, right? So it has good capability at distance. But see, here's what I'm talking about, guys. This is a good scope. This is a Leopold scope. It's probably one of the better scopes that I can afford, right? But at any rate, there's no iron sights on this. If I drop this gun on a rock or curb or street or concrete somewhere, something of that nature, and I bust this glass, I bust this scope up, it's going to be very difficult to operate this rifle in its intended purpose. Okay, so that's exactly what I'm talking about. No sights. Those bull barrel guns that everybody thinks are so sexy for that precision shooting, they don't have iron sights. So to me, I would choose something different. Now the last category is the least category, but I still feel it's important. And that is 22s, right? 22 long rifle. I know a lot of people think that the 22 is the best choice for every situation. And I'm not talking to you. You're a moron. For the rest of the world, the 22s can really be a versatile tool and an important tool for any type of survival situation. Okay? Now, 22 long rifles, you're going to have to figure that a good durable rifle like this one right here would be an outstanding choice. This is not going to be serving a role in defense, but maybe small game hunting, maybe training. Maybe teaching someone in your group to shoot. All right. That's exactly what this rifle was set up to do. This happens to be a Mauser Model 45. Okay, and it is a French training rifle. But just about all your main battle rifles back in the day had 22s that were used as training rifles. A lot of them did anyway. And that's because those big rifles were in powerful rifle cartridges, and it was harder to train new shooters on them, right? One of the best characteristics of the .22 is it's a good choice to teach people to shoot, all right? So this is a good, dependable one, has good iron sights on it, and has a little detachable box magazine, and I have a few of those. And this is based off of a Mauser bolt and has the operations of a Mauser bolt, and it's a good rifle, outstanding rifle. Now, next rifle I'm going to show you is a Springfield .22. Has a tubular magazine, and it's a semi-automatic. Semi-automatics are going to be the least durable of the .22 crowd. .22 ammunition in most cases, if not all cases, is very dirty compared to its contemporaries. And one of the reasons why it's hard to find, there's really no such thing as a perfectly dependable .22, right? Semi-automatic anyway. I've had this gun for a long time, since I was a teenager, and many empty soup cans and squirrels have met their end to this .22 rifle right here. I like the tubular fed guns mainly because it allows you to use, in many cases, more types of .22 ammunition that may not feed well in semi-automatics of other types with magazines because of magazine issues. But all in all, you know, there's going to be lots of choices out there, lever actions and other kinds of repeaters. Now here's a gun that's just fun to show. It's fun to shoot. I've loved it for a long time. I put it together back in the 80s. This is a Ruger 1022. Has a little folding stock on it. It has a nifty little sight, which was a very interesting sight in its time, and that's a Armson OEG sight made by Trijicon. Even has a really old Ramline 30-round magazine. Again, these things are fun. I refer to this gun as my squirrel assault rifle. And tons of fun, great for training, great for small game hunting. It can be pushed into service for other things, but not recommended. Alright guys, that's an idea of a 5-gun battery, my idea of a 5-gun battery. Yours may differ. Like I said earlier, you may find that you have firearms that you feel they can serve more than one role, and that's fine. Calibers are going to be different, types of rifles are going to be different, but I wanted to give you an idea of what I thought a good 5-gun battery would look like for SHTF, WROL, some type of a long-term event. At any rate, thank you for watching, I appreciate it, and remember to shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.